More Americans are lonely today than at any other point in modern history. Not because they're alone, but because they're surrounded by people who don't truly know them. Think about it. You can have thousands of followers, hundreds of contacts, a phone that never stops buzzing, and still feel completely invisible. What if I told you there's a modern disease spreading across the world, and most people don't even realize they have it? It's not a virus. It's not something doctors can easily detect. And yet it's silently affecting millions of lives every single day. It's loneliness. And the scary part? Most people don't even know they're suffering from it. A few years ago, loneliness meant something different. It meant physically being alone. Today, that's no longer true. You can sit in a crowded restaurant, walk through a busy city, attend a party filled with people, and still feel disconnected. Why? Because human beings don't need attention. They need connection. And those two things are not the same. Social media gave us attention. Technology gave us convenience. But neither gave us what we truly needed: real connection. The kind of connection where someone truly understands you. The kind where you don't have to pretend. The kind where you feel seen. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you had a conversation that changed you? Not small talk, not texting, not sending memes, not scrolling through social media. A real conversation, the kind that makes you think, the kind that stays with you long after it's over, the kind that reminds you that you're not alone. If you can't remember, you're not the only one. Millions of people can't remember either, and that's the problem. We're connected to everyone, but close to no one. Every day we spend hours looking at screens, watching other people's lives, comparing ourselves to strangers, searching for something, a feeling, a connection, a sense of belonging. But no amount of scrolling can replace a real human bond. And deep down, we know it. The saddest part about loneliness isn't being lonely. The saddest part is getting used to it. People stop reaching out, stop opening up, stop trusting, stop trying, and eventually they convince themselves that this is normal, that this is just how life is supposed to feel. But it's not. You weren't designed to live disconnected. You weren't built to walk through life feeling invisible. You were built for community, for friendship, for belonging, for meaning. And when those things disappear, something inside us slowly starts to break. Maybe you felt it before. That strange emptiness late at night. That feeling that something is missing. Even when everything seems fine on the surface. You have a job, a house, a phone, entertainment, food. Yet something still feels incomplete. Because loneliness isn't the absence of people. It's the absence of connection. And no amount of success can fill that void. No amount of money, no amount of likes, no amount of followers, no amount of achievements. You can win every external battle and still lose the internal one. That's why some of the most successful people in the world still struggle with loneliness. Because connection cannot be purchased. It must be built. Here's another truth nobody talks about. Loneliness doesn't always look like sadness. Sometimes it looks like endless scrolling. Sometimes it looks like overworking. Sometimes it looks like addictions, distractions, busy schedules, constant noise, anything that keeps us from sitting alone with our thoughts, anything that keeps us from facing what's really missing: connection. Because if we're always distracted, we never have to admit how lonely we feel. But ignoring the problem never solves it. In fact, it usually makes it worse. Imagine being stranded in the ocean. Would pretending you're not lost help you? Of course not. The first step is recognizing where you are, and maybe today is that moment for you. Maybe today is the day you stop pretending everything is okay. Maybe today is the day you admit that you've been feeling disconnected. And maybe that's exactly what you need. Because awareness creates change. You can't fix what you refuse to acknowledge. The good news is that loneliness isn't permanent. It isn't your identity. It isn't your future. It's a signal reminding you that something important is missing. And signals are meant to guide us, not define us. One genuine friendship can change a life. One honest conversation can change a year. One moment of vulnerability can change everything. The people who seem strongest aren't the people who never need others. They're the people who are brave enough to let others in. So if you've been feeling lonely lately, reach out to someone, send the message, make the call, start the conversation. It might feel uncomfortable, but so does staying stuck. And remember this, the world doesn't need a perfect version of you. It needs a real version of you. Someone willing to connect, someone willing to care, someone willing to be seen. Because behind every smiling face is a person fighting battles you know nothing about. And sometimes the connection you're looking for begins when you become the connection someone else needs. If you're watching this right now and you've been feeling lonely, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are not forgotten. You are human. And the fact that you crave connection is proof that you're alive. The solution isn't more followers, more notifications, more distractions. The solution is people, real conversations, real connections. And those things are still possible. No matter where you are, no matter how long you felt alone, no matter what your past looks like, your story isn't over. This chapter isn't the end. It's the beginning of something better. Most people will finish this video and immediately go back to scrolling, back to distractions, back to the habits that keep them feeling stuck. But a few people will make a different choice. A few people will decide that they're done living disconnected. A few people will choose growth over comfort, connection over isolation, action over excuses. If that's who you want to become, subscribe. Not for me, for yourself. Because every time these videos appear on your screen, they'll remind you of the person you're becoming. The person who refuses to stay stuck. The person who refuses to settle. The person who chooses connection. And if you made it this far, comment, I choose connection. Because the moment you declare something publicly, your brain starts treating it as part of your identity. And identity is what creates lasting change. Your future relationships, your future friendships, your future life, they all begin with one decision. Make that decision today.